At Tucson Medical Center, Dr. GURUPRASAD RAJU is making his rounds and checking his patients.
Can I listen to your heart and lungs?
But these are not patients he's been treating in an office for years. He doesn't meet his patients until they are hospitalized. Dr. Raju is a different type of doctor. He's a hospitalist, a doctor who stays in a hospital and takes over your care from your regular physician. The term hospitalist was invented only about 16 years ago. Now there are an estimated 30,000 hospitalists throughout North America. Your family doctor might still visit you in the hospital, but Dr. Raju says that's hard to do with a busy office practice.
They would come at 5 o'clock in the morning and around and then go and come back in the evenings after 7 o'clock. But in somebody like me who's a hospitalist, I'm here from morning till evening.
Hospitalists say their advantage is being able to be at your bedside in a matter of moments.
You're right here and handy, but you may not necessarily have the mental records that a doctor may have who's been seeing somebody for 5 or 10 or 15 years. How do you compensate for that?
That's a very good question. A lot of the times most of the primary care physicians here in town that we work with, we partner with them, and they send us the records that are pertinent and what we need.
ROSALIND RAFFE still does wish her regular doctor would visit.
I'd rather have him because he knows me so well, but I don't. They don't do that anymore.
But do you feel you're still well served by what's happening here?
Yes, I do.
Dr. Stephen Wool is another example of a different type of doctor. Patients pay him a $1,500 retainer each year. He says the fee means fewer patients are required to keep his office in business, so he can afford to be on call 24 hours a day and offer much longer appointments.
Now the average appointment is laid out to be a half an hour at least, and the physical exams are anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half.
Doctors who charge an annual fee are sometimes called concierge doctors. Some of them charge $5,000 a year or even more. Dr. Wool is careful to keep his fees lower and call himself a retained physician, not a concierge doctor.
Concierge has like a sense of bias, a sense of elitist approach to it, and that's really not what this is about.
Dr. Wool compares his retainer to the yearly cost of a daily dose of fancy coffee and says it gives patients the freedom to enhance their medical care beyond what insurance may dictate. He maintains a gym and brings in exercise and nutrition specialists as part of the preventive medicine he encourages patients to embrace.
There's lots of data and information out there that if patients had greater access to their primary care physicians, it would indicate that they wouldn't require referrals to emergency rooms as often. Many diseases may be managed better because they have greater access, particularly when changes occur. And typically, you'll prevent more complications of illnesses that won't have to wait to be seen.
Dr. Wool says when patients pay a little more for their medical advice, they're more likely to give it more value and pay attention.
I've had unfortunate situations where patients waited a year or two to get a physical exam and a problem developed. You know, if they had paid extra for their, quote, retainer physician or concierge physician, guess what? They probably would have come in a lot sooner to take advantage of what they paid for.
Craig Smith, KGUN-9, on your side.
Retain